Okay, you might be feeling a little bit lost, a little bit overwhelmed. That can sometimes happen when you're focusing on being more productive. And that's the basis of a lot of the videos that I produce on this channel. How can we be more productive? But in doing that, what we sometimes do, rather than getting things done, we start to add more and more things to our list of things to do. And that's what we do to free up our capacity. And you might be in a place where you're yearning for those younger years where you could go through a weekend and it felt stress free, as opposed to now where you finish a weekend and you might feel like you haven't got everything done. That's not a good place to be. So let's take one of the steps back to basics. And of course, you have heard about prioritization and letting things go. Here's one good way to help with that, and that is start to understand what are the key metrics, the key measures that you are going to start to monitor yourself by. And what that will start to do is differentiate between those things that are peripheral and just puff and noise and those things that are core. Because when you start to think about what are those key metrics that you're going to want to monitor, those things that are peripheral, they tend to drop to the side because you don't want to develop metrics for them. So by developing metrics and measures, and I'll give you an example in just a moment, that becomes a threshold to test if something is important for you or not. So here's an example. If you're running a business, you've got a new business, it's a startup, you know what it means to drive revenue, your revenue increasing, but that's a lag measure. So what you'll establish with this approach is what are the things that I need to do to be able to start to generate that revenue. So for example, it might be the number of coffees that you catch up, that you have with prospective clients, or you might be producing videos to support the product or whatever it is, but those start to become your measures. And by establishing those measures and performing to them and seeing them grow and increase, then you know you're doing the right things. You've got a website. You're not going to be measuring the number of visitors to that website, because that's going to be more of an ego-based measure. More visitors, you feel good about that. That's not what you want. You want leads coming from your website. You want people to look at your website and go, hot damn, I need to contact this person because what they are offering is exactly what I want. So you're going to be measuring the leads that come from your website. So you need to continue to make changes to your website to have the number of leads increase. But the very fact you have that measure, the number of leads you're getting from your website, means you start to focus on the right priorities, which is what is the work that you need to do to increase the number of leads that come from your website, rather than start to take on other tasks that are peripheral. When you realize that now you're in a position that you're getting things that come your way, and where you would have otherwise taken on that task or gone down that rabbit hole of teasing something out or shaping it up, whether it be a new book or a new project or a new business idea or whatever, when you start to just dismiss them right offhand and go, that's kind of cool, I can see why someone would be interested in that, but that's not my focus, then you know that those measures are working because your energy is focusing on fulfilling, monitoring those measures and fulfilling what it takes for those measures to increase, to get better. Because the number of leads that you want from your website, if it's 2 over 1 month, then you're going to want it to be more the next month, 4, and then 5, and then 6. And of course, there'll be variation, but you want to see the trend where it's going up each time, where you're getting more leads. Your website is configured in such a way that more leads are coming out of it. And then you're spending your time on the right things. So start to think about those key measures, not the lag measures like the revenue that will come from those leads. Certainly measure that, but the lead measures, the things that will drive that revenue. And with those key measures, and some of them will to do with you personally. It might be to do with a morning routine or a physical endeavor, something to do with training. But when you're measuring the right things, when you have those measures and you're checking in on how they're performing and how you're contributing to them, that will help you prioritize. That's it. That's the one point. So, yeah, don't get so productive that when you start doing things faster, you take on more things. Sure, you might choose to do that, but make an informed decision about whether you take on more things or you get better at those things that you want to do. All right. Hope that helps. You know what to do. Subscribe if something like this offers value to you. If it does and you've subscribed, I'll catch you in the next one.